Hello and welcome to another video from me, Rough Swordsman Wargamer. It's the second video in my two-part set of videos, if you like, concerning Red Storm, the air war over central Germany, 1987. And in the last video, we did an unboxing of the core game. But now we're going to take a look at this. Dark Blue Defection, a brand new expansion which will enable you to play 10 new scenarios solitaire. It's a fan-made product, so it's not an official GMT product, and was designed by Howard James Rigg and is available solely through Second Chance Games over here in the UK. I'll leave links to everything I mention in this video down in the description. So what does it say on Second Chance Games' website about this new expansion? It says it's self-published and it's a not-for-profit title and is the unofficial solo expansion designed for use with GMT's Red Storm. Dark Blue Defection provides a solo-only experience in which each scenario can be set up and played to conclusion in one evening. The scenarios require no planning. The forces involved are preset to allow speed of play. Dark Blue Defection modifies the solo bot provided in Red Storm and provides a set of 10 smaller scenarios designed to be played in sequence with increased difficulty and a ramp up of game rules as they progress to allow learning of the game system detailed in the Red Storm rules of play in a logical and fun way. And that's interesting. Does this mean we can use Dark Blue Defection to help us learn the game, as well as being solo scenarios? There's something else that Howard put on Board Game Geek a few months ago, and we'll mention that in a bit. It continues. As the player, you will play as NATO through a series of challenging connected scenarios. The Warsaw Pact forces are controlled by the bot system. Scenarios featuring mission types from Red Storm includes close air support, interdiction, SEAD, deep strike, raid defense, and a new air heist mission type. So the mission briefings are in the scenario booklet, which we'll have a look at in a moment, and they provide the scenario background, targets, conditions, order of battle, special rules, and victory conditions, just like in the core game. Planning maps. Planning maps provide a visual aid of the area of operations for each scenario, detailing flight plans for either side, so already filled in by the sound of it, objectives, starting force locations, orbit point, rally points, and the front line. Scenario setup sheets provide a counter tray template for the order of battle to allow quick setup and drawing of counters during the scenario. And the flight log sheets are provided for each flight listed in the order of battle to allow flight tracking of damage, ammo, fuel, and aggression levels during a scenario using a dry erase marker. So, without further ado, let's have a look inside the bag. Let's open the bag. First thing is a 24-page booklet, full colour, sort of matte paper, a bit like the old GMT rulebooks. Now, there is a caveat here. I have not played or read the rules of the core game yet, so a lot of this will be gobbledygook to me, but I'm showing you this because A, I'm quite excited to get it on the table, and B, if you're already au fait with the game, you can see what you're going to get if this expansion is of interest to you. So, we have the usual thing saying a copy of the game is required. Yeah, and what I said from the Second Chance Game webpage. Here are some optional rules: random bot flight attitude, random weather. And then we're into the scenarios. Now, I mentioned earlier that Howard did put on a post in July where he gives a brief overview of the scenarios. This is before it was available. And a talk about the general rule build-up as you progress from NSC 1 to NSC 10. Now, this one, Red Dawn, Howard says this is the most basic scenario, no ground units, and introduces the following rules of play. And he lists those rules, and they are the sequence of play, the random event phase, detection, initiative, movement, fuel, tracking, air-to-air combat, BVR and standard, moving and activating the bot using the bot system, close escort, bombing and cap tasks, and dummy flights. So quite a lot in this first scenario, and he does say this. It's the most intensive in the amount you have to learn. But then we go on to the, where are we? Here we are. To the second scenario. Good old Uncle surface-to-air missile. Being a bit of a wag there with a play on words. And this one, you only need SAM location, laden flights, electro-optical guided missiles, and Shrikes, operating SAMs, SAM acquisition and damage assessment against SAMs and AAA. It looks to me, and maybe Howard can point me in the right direction if I'm not quite right, that this expansion not only allows you to play solo, 10 new scenarios, but is teaching you the rules as you go, which sounds wonderful to me. So, here's the third scenario, Morning Glory. And as I said earlier, like in the core game, you get the mission briefing, the targets, order of battles, special scenario rules, and the victory conditions. So it's nice, it's in full colour. The paper is nice and thick, good quality stock to that. And here's the title track, Dark Blue Defection. The Night Witches. So 10 of these, as I say. And at the end we have designer notes, which is great. And a bot example of play. Wonderful. Aircraft log example on the back there, and the credits. There we are. Next are the planning maps, already filled out for the 10 scenarios, and they are laminated on thick stock. So here's Red Dawn. And here's the second scenario. And people who are au fait with the game will be getting more out of this than I am at the moment, but I hope to catch you up soon. Here's the one for the third scenario. And the fact they're laminated is quite nice. I'm not sure if you have to write on these, but even so, it will add to their durability, I dare say. Number 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Now I think, looking at these maps, I think most scenarios use both maps because it uses a sort of middly bit of it, although this one looks like it just uses the top left hand corner of the left hand map. But there we are, that's your planning maps. Next are the scenario setup cards, and again they're on thick stock, laminated. So here's scenario 1. So as it says, you can get your counters out, put them on here ready. I'll quickly go through these for the 10 scenarios, but they are rather handsome. Number 9 and number 10. And the last thing are the flight log sheets. Again, laminated, but I think they need to be. I think we'd have to use a dry wipe on there. So there's all your pilots, I presume. And on the other side we've got scenario 2. This one has 2 sheets. So we've got scenario 3, sheet 1 of 2. Scenario 3, sheet 2 of 2. And I think on the other side we have, yes, scenario 4, 1 of 2, 2 of 2. Scenario 5 also has 2 sheets. And so does 6. This one has 3 flight log sheets. Here's number 2 and number 3. And I suppose on the other side we've got, yep, scenario 8. 1, 2, 3. Scenario 9 has 2 sheets. And just to be awkward, scenario 10 has 3. 1, 2, and the one with the back sheet on, 3. There we are. So this has been the second part of my Red Storm special, if you like, highlighting the new unofficial NATO solo scenario expansion, Dark Blue Defection. Designed by Howard James Rigg and available exclusively through Second Chance Games in the UK. And as I say, I'll leave links to everything I've mentioned in the description below. Everything looks great quality. Everything's laminated. I can't comment on how it all works because I've got to sort myself through the rules, but, and I could be wrong, it looks like this expansion is breaking down the rules for each scenario so you can learn some as you go along. If that's the case, great idea. Well, there we are. I hope that was of interest and you enjoyed it. And now you know what you're getting if you've ordered it and not received it, or has put you in mind to get a copy. The problem is, as far as I'm aware, once they've gone, they've gone. So until next time, as always, you take care and goodbye.